Welcome. That feeling when you're juggling just a million things and there's this quiet sort of whisper inside asking, does any of this really matter right now?
Hmm.
That's kind of the space we're stepping into today, trying to understand what truly holds weight for you,
Yeah.
underneath all the shoulds and the endless to-do lists.
It's like your attention is, well, a spotlight trying to hit too many spots at once. Everything feels urgent. Everything seems to demand focus.
Yeah.
And yet that very scattering can leave you feeling disconnected. Disconnected from what truly nourishes you deep down.
Exactly. Think about those moments. Maybe you're at your desk, emails are piling up, and there's that nagging feeling that something vital is just being overlooked.
Yes, looking through your fingers.
Right. So we're going to explore that internal tug of war, that pull between what you feel you have to do and what you genuinely, authentically want to do.
And neither side is inherently bad, right?
Yeah.
It's not about good versus evil.
No, not at all. But understanding that dynamic, how we navigate it, that seems key.
And it's fascinating how easily that inner compass, your intuition, it can get muffled, just sort of turned down.
How does that happen?
Well, fear of failure, worrying about what other people think, even just the sheer habit of prioritizing external demands.
Okay.
These can act like static, basically, obscuring those quiet but persistent signals from within. It's a kind of survival mechanism, maybe,
Makes sense.
but one that can lead to a real disconnection from your authentic needs, what some might call unfinished business.
We'll definitely circle back to that. But first, maybe we can look at a potential turning point, like a simple moment of just being present.
Oh, yes.
Imagine just closing your laptop, for instance, and just noticing how your body feels right there in that moment.
That raw, unfiltered awareness.
Yeah, that can be the doorway, can it? To understanding what truly matters, based on your own direct experience, not some external yardstick someone else handed you.
Absolutely. Maybe even take a moment right now as you're listening. What sensations are actually present in your body? Is there any tension? Any lightness, perhaps? What emotions are maybe stirring as you consider this feeling of being pulled in different directions?
Just noticing.
Just noticing.
Yeah.
That initial awareness, that grounding in the present, it really is the bedrock of this whole exploration.
Okay, so grounding in the present. Now let's consider how this feeling of being, completely overwhelmed often takes hold. It's like we're trying to be master multitaskers, isn't it?
Right. Oh, definitely. There's this modern myth, isn't there? That busyness equals productivity or importance even.
Totally. We're switching between tasks, emails flying, checking social media, thinking we're being super efficient.
But it's more like our focus is constantly fractured.
Fragmented.
Yeah, fragmented, like we're skimming the surface of everything and rarely diving deep into any one thing. It disrupts a natural rhythm, doesn't it? That flow of engagement.
It really does. Imagine making a meal. You start with the idea, right? You gather your ingredients, you start chopping, stirring. That's the energy building, the contact with what you're doing.
Okay, I'm with you. Ideally, you'd continue until the meal is complete, maybe savor the result, and then naturally step away, rest. But if you're constantly stopping to check your phone, answer emails, deal with some other demand, you never fully immerse yourself in the process or experience that satisfaction completion.
Right, yeah.
It's just interrupted.
So we end up with all these half-finished mental meals, which probably feeds that underlying sense of unease we started with.
Exactly. It creates this residue.
And this relates to that idea of what we focus on versus what's just kind of humming in the background, right? The figure and ground thing.
Precisely. Think of your awareness like a stage. The figure is what's in the spotlight, what you're actively attending to right now.
Okay.
The ground is everything else. All the context, the background noise, the things you're not focused on.
So when we're overwhelmed,
It's like everything is clamoring to be the figure. Everything wants center stage. So the truly important thing, the thing that genuinely needs your attention, it can't emerge clearly because there's just too much noise, too much competition.
it's like trying to hear a single instrument in a really chaotic orchestra, or trying to have a meaningful conversation at a super loud party.
Perfect analogy. All the other voices just blend into this distracting hum. It makes it almost impossible to focus on the person you actually want to connect with.
And sometimes, let's be honest, we even turn up that background noise ourselves, don't we? Through avoidance.
Oh, absolutely. Avoidance mechanisms are powerful. Think about procrastination.
Ah, yes.
Often it's not simply laziness, is it? It's usually a signal. A signal that something feels off or misaligned,
Yeah.
or maybe just too daunting.
So instead of facing that feeling,
We find distractions. We check email again, we tidy the desk, we do anything but the thing. Or consider perfectionism.
Right, that sounds like a good thing, but
But it could be a really clever way of avoiding actually starting something, because we're afraid of not meeting some impossible standard we've set.
it's like we're building these elaborate escape routes just to avoid confronting something that, yeah, might be uncomfortable, but could actually be essential for our growth or well-being.
And all this mental energy we spend on detours, on avoidance, it keeps us disconnected from a really fundamental source of guidance,
Which is
our own physical sensations, our bodies.
Back to the body.
Yes, what's really remarkable is the direct line our bodies have to our inner state. That tension in your shoulders you mentioned, or a knot in your stomach, maybe a subtle change in your breathing. These aren't just random glitches. They're data.
Data.
Yeah, data reflecting whether we are in harmony with what truly matters to us or whether we're pushing against our own needs and desires. The body speaks a very honest language.
So that tightening in your chest when you agree to something you instinctively know you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Or maybe that feeling of lightness, almost expansion when you think about a passion project you've been putting off.
Those are genuine signals, vital information. But we often ignore them, don't we? Especially when we're chasing, say, external validation.
Right. Seeking approval from outside ourselves.
We can really fall into that trap, hoping it will fill some kind of internal void. We might chase achievements or say yes to every obligation, thinking, oh, this will make me look good or people will accept me.
But it doesn't quite work, does it?
Not in the long run. Ultimately, that external applause, it just can't provide the deep, sustainable sense of fulfillment that comes from honoring your own inner truth, from acting in accordance with your own values.
Okay, so it really seems that rediscovering what truly matters involves this significant shift in focus, drawing our attention back from all that external chaos to our own internal landscape, our feelings, our body, our intuition.
Precisely. It begins with that initial act of awareness, just noticing. Yeah. Noticing the mental clutter, the push and pull between have to and want to, those subtle messages your body is sending.
But awareness isn't the end point.
No, awareness is just the first step. It's crucial, but the real transformation happens when you move from simply noticing to actively choosing to honor what you discover.
And that can feel, well, challenging, especially if it means setting boundaries, maybe disappointing someone, or just stepping outside of what feels familiar and safe.
It absolutely can be challenging, which brings us back to that idea of unfinished cycles or unfinished business. Addressing those is often a vital part of this reclaiming process.
Can you say a bit more about that? Unfinished business.
Sure. Think of it as those unresolved experiences or unmet needs from the past that are still kind of lingering. They can subtly drain your energy in the present.
Okay. Like old baggage we're still carrying.
Sort of, yeah. And taking small steps to acknowledge and address them. Maybe it's finally having a difficult conversation you've avoided, or revisiting a passion you let go of, or even just allowing yourself to fully feel a suppressed emotion.
That can be freeing.
Incredibly freeing. It clears the path, energetically speaking, so you can focus more fully on what truly matters right here, right now.
But it's not about making these huge, dramatic, overnight transformations, is it? Because that feels overwhelming too.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's usually more about those small, consistent adjustments, those tiny shifts that can create a much larger impact over time, a ripple effect.
Right, the compound interest for your well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Often, the most profound changes arise from seemingly small, consistent actions. Prioritizing just a few moments of quiet reflection each day, maybe, or having one honest conversation this week, setting one clear boundary.
They seem minor.
They might appear minor, but their effects can ripple outwards, significantly improving your sense of well-being, your energy, your sense of purpose. It adds up.
And sometimes it feels like maybe we need to loosen our grip a bit. Stop trying so damn hard to control every single outcome and just allow things to unfold more naturally.
Oh, there's a real paradox in letting go, isn't there?
How so?
When we become overly fixated on finding immediate answers or forcing clarity or controlling everything, we can actually create more internal resistance, more tension. Learning to just be present with uncertainty, to maybe even trust the process, even when it's uncomfortable, that can allow insights to emerge much more organically. It's about surrendering that deep-seated need for absolute control.
Which is hard.
Very hard, but necessary sometimes.
So it's actually okay if we don't have all the answers right now, if we don't have the big what matters most carved in stone.
More than okay. There's a certain beauty in those unanswered questions, isn't there? In giving ourselves permission to explore and discover over time without demanding instant clarity.
Yeah, embracing the mystery a little.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Understanding what truly matters is an ongoing journey. It's dynamic. It's not a destination you arrive at once and for all, plant a flag, and you're done.
Because life keeps moving.
Life is constantly in motion, and your priorities, your needs, they will evolve. Embracing that sense of unfolding, that element of mystery, can actually enrich the entire process, make it feel more alive.
Okay, so let's maybe recap where we've journeyed in this deep dive. We started by exploring that common feeling of being weighed down by shoulds, right?
And that internal conflict between obligation and desire, and how easily we can lose touch with our own intuition, that inner knowing.
And we looked at how really paying attention to our body signals, tension, lightness, whatever it is, can be a powerful shift. A way to move from all that mental clutter into just being aware in the present moment.
We then discuss how multitasking, that constant switching, can really fragment our focus, preventing us from fully engaging with what's important.
Yeah, and we revisited that idea of figure and ground, how the truly vital things can get obscured by all the background noise and distractions.
We also touched on how those avoidance mechanisms, like procrastination or perfectionism, aren't just habits but can be signals, and how seeking external validation can pull us away from our own inner compass.
Right. And ultimately, reconnecting with what truly matters seems to begin with a conscious choice, that movement from just being aware to actually taking action, even if it's just a small step.
Absolutely. We talked about completing those cycles of experience, honoring that unfinished business or those unresolved needs, and how small, consistent changes can have those significant ripple effects.
We also considered the paradoxical power of letting go. Finding clarity sometimes by surrendering the need to control everything, and maybe embracing the beauty of unanswered questions in our ongoing journey.
So perhaps this is a gentle invitation now, just to reflect. Where do you feel called to focus your attention after hearing this? What insights, if any, resonated most deeply?
Yeah, what emotions came up?
Exactly. And remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. There's only your own unique experience. Perhaps you'll just be a bit more mindful of finding moments of pause, or maybe more attuned to the messages your body is sending.
So we'll leave you with maybe a few questions to carry with you, to mull over in your own time. What might it actually feel like to live more authentically, more aligned with what truly matters to you?
And how could prioritizing your own inner voice over maybe seeking external approval, how might that reshape different aspects of your life, your work, your relationships?
And finally, perhaps most importantly, what small intentional step might you take, maybe even today, to honor that quiet, important voice within?
Just trust that the wisdom you seek, the answers you're looking for, they really do lie within your own experience, waiting patiently to be discovered.